Welcome to Receipts and Regret, where the tea is hot and the trust is broken. Now tonight's stories, one groom cheats the night before the wedding, and one mom chooses a margarita over her daughter's vows. Now let's get into it.
I never thought the night before my wedding would be the night my entire life unraveled. We had been together for 5 years. He was my first real relationship and the man I honestly saw forever with. The venue was booked. My dress was steamed and hanging by the door. All that was left to do was go to sleep and wake up and see the man that I was in love with at the altar. But instead of going to bed that night, my bridesmaid handed me her phone. It was a video of my fiance at his bachelor party, kissing another woman like he wasn't getting married in less than 12 hours. And at first, I couldn't even react. My body just went cold. When I confronted him, he laughed. He said it was a mistake and that he had too much to drink and that it didn't mean anything. But the thing is, I wanted to know if I actually meant something to him. So instead of walking down the aisle, I walked out of that relationship, out of that hotel, out of the life that I thought I was building with him. I spent the night alone in my wedding dress, sitting on the edge of a hotel bed I had booked for our honeymoon night. And somehow that still felt more peaceful than spending a lifetime with someone who could betray me like that. Funny how silence can be louder than a vow. But honestly, you guys, it doesn't get better. It honestly gets worse than this. The next morning, my phone buzzed with text asking what time the ceremony started. And I replied, "It's been canceled. He's not the man that I thought he was." Some people were shocked. Some were mad. But most of them already knew what kind of man he was. I just so happened to be the last one to admit it. And that was the real betrayal. I gave 5 years of my life to a man who thought I just overlooked infidelity like it was spilled champagne. I didn't scream. I didn't block him. I just quietly took off my ring and took it for what it was.
So now that you have heard that, would you have stood on business and left just like she did? Or would you have stayed and still went through with the wedding? But now let's dive into our next story about how my parents chose a cruise over my wedding day.
You'd think planning a wedding would be one of the happiest times of your life. For me, it became the clearest confirmation that I was on my own, even when it came to my own family. My fiance and I got engaged after 4 years together. Nothing extravagant, no viral proposal, just the two of us in our living room, pizza on the table, and a quiet but happy, "Will you marry me?" It was perfect. We weren't rushing. We knew what we wanted. We gave ourselves 1.5 years to save, plan, and enjoy the engagement. I wanted a small wedding, 75 guests max, a simple ceremony, backyard reception, a homemade playlist, buffet style food, and I wasn't asking anyone for help. But I was hopeful that my parents would be emotionally involved, or at least be present. That hope didn't last long. I told my mom the date. May 21st. And she paused. "Oh, honey, that's the weekend of our cruise," she said. And I said, "Wait, what cruise?" She and my dad had apparently booked a 7-day Caribbean cruise for themselves and some church friends. Now, I reminded her that we booked our wedding date almost a year ago. And she said, "Well, honey, it's non-refundable." And I said, so is this venue. So what followed was weeks of passive-aggressive tension. My dad stopped returning my calls. My mom would randomly text me, "Hope the wedding planning is going well," like she didn't just choose a vacation over my actual wedding. Then 2 months before the big day, my mom sent me a message. Not a call, not even a voice note, a message. And it read, "After a lot of prayer, your father and I have decided to go forward with the cruise. We hope you understand. We'll celebrate with you another time." I stared at the message for 5 minutes before I said anything. I didn't even cry at first. I just felt small. I had always been the independent one, the one who figured it out. But it hit me how alone that can feel when you finally need someone and they choose convenience. So I showed the message to my fiance, and I expected him to be angry. But he just hugged me and said, "That doesn't change anything. You'll still have your day, and you'll still have me." But it did change something. It changed how I saw my parents. It changed what I believed about unconditional support. It changed how I planned the rest of the wedding. I stopped sending them updates. I didn't even invite them to the rehearsal dinner because, what was the freaking point? I deleted the parent dance songs from the playlist. And still, a small part of me hoped that they would show up. I hoped that they'd surprise me. That on my wedding day, someone would whisper, "They made it." And I'd turn around and see them walking in. But they didn't. They posted pictures on Facebook from their sweet balcony with captions like, "Sometimes you need to just get away." My wedding photos, they weren't in any of them. But here's the twist. The wedding was beautiful. It rained, which sounds like bad luck, but it forced everyone under the tent and it made the whole thing feel cozy. We said our vows with water dripping on the sides, and everyone laughed when the mic cut out. My in-laws danced like they were 22 again. My college friends stayed behind to clean up. My aunt cried when I walked down the aisle. I was surrounded by people who showed up. And maybe, just maybe, that's what family really means. The ones who show up. The ones who clap the loudest. The ones who say, "I'll be there," and actually are. My parents missed the entire wedding, but I did not miss this lesson. I didn't cancel my wedding. I canceled the idea that people deserve seats in your life just because they hold a title. Love isn't proven by what people say when it's easy. It's proven by what they do when it's inconvenient. And when they chose a cruise over my vows, I finally understood that blood isn't always thicker than presents. So no, I didn't reschedule my wedding. I rescheduled my expectations, and I married a man who never once made me beg for a spot on his calendar.
Thank you for watching this episode of Receipts and Regrets. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that like button. And I will see you guys in more episodes like this. Time that for our next story time. In the meantime, I'll see y'all later, honey.